that slaps.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Still Slaps Music Reviews. Today, we have on deck a review of Drake's new album, Certified Lover Boy, aka CLB. We're gonna get right into it. First of all, I'm Shuby, singer, songwriter, rapper here for Still Slaps. Thank you for joining me. If you clicked on the video, I appreciate it. If you want to check out some past reviews, I'm gonna link some below. Thank you. Hopefully, we can make a good first impression. I'm gonna try not to be too long with this review. We're gonna jump right into it. Now, this is the latest one from Drake. All Toronto made rap superstar. CLB. In my opinion, I'm gonna lead with the negatives. I'm pulling up the track list as we speak. I believe that this album is, in some ways, on the negative side. This album definitely, to me, missed the mark when it came to some of these feature cuts. I think that, in particular, one of the tracks that are circulating right now is the Cringe Worthy track, arguably the most cringe track on the album, which is Way Too Sexy. Way Too Sexy is blowing up at this point in time, and I don't know what convinced Drake, what convinced Future. I can understand Thug doing this out of everybody on this track list, to be honest with you. But I don't understand why they thought this would be a good idea. This track is cringe. This track is the worst that you could even imagine coming from someone like Drake. It just doesn't make sense at this point in his career. And in Future as well. Like I said, the only one that makes sense on this track, and it's believable, if they wanted to do it, it could go, and it wouldn't be a problem, in my opinion, is Young Thug. Young Thug, I would expect that from someone like Thug. Now, it's bad to the point where it's like, you gotta cut this one out of there. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. I don't know what inspired them to go with that sample. That is a dance track that has been around for ages, and in its own right, it's in the dance world, it's credible, but it just, to me, I don't know why Drake went and reached all the way left like this. It's definitely unneeded on the track list based off of the other vibes that Drake has. I think he missed the mark with putting Future on this duplicate track, this throwaway track. Instead of putting Future on here twice is a little redundant for somebody like Future. I think that Drake missed some opportunity to get with some other features that we haven't seen in a while. Insert Mr. Jermaine Cole. I think that this would have been a perfect time for Cole and Drake to get together and do something. I don't know why it didn't happen. I mean, we saw Cole give props to Drake on Instagram with the the congratulations and all that good stuff, and that was great. But honestly, the track list on Certified Lover Boy, it easily becomes a wastebasket in some instances, where, like, why are we seeing these duplicate features, these features that we've seen before? Take case in point, Girls Want Girls. That's another one where it's like, okay, I can listen to it, but at the same time, why are we seeing Lil Baby and Drake again? Like, it doesn't make sense, especially after the EP that we got, right, where Lil Baby just washed Drake's draws on that feature. And I think that it's a little lazy at this point to see some of these features over and over again. Giveon killed his verse on In the Bible, but why are we seeing another Giveon feature? I mean, he put him on and that was great. Giveon is having quite a career, but did we really need Giveon again on In the Bible for this feature? There's a few other R&B acts that he could have linked with. I think that it would have been an excellent opportunity to reach into the other label bag. You know, you could have reached it. I mean, he can't go nowhere around SZA after dropping that SZA line, but he could have at least explored some options with Dreamville Squad, Ari Lennox, you know, just to name drop one person. I don't know. I would have loved to see just somebody else outside of Giveon again. Not that he did a bad job, because he didn't. Same with Lil Baby. Both killed their verses. And it was a great job on behalf of both of them. But we could have seen a different mixture in this track list, hands down. Same thing with Jay-Z. Didn't need to see that again. He did a great job on his verse, but didn't need to see that. Repetitive. So basically, some of this track list suffers from how repetitive it is. Okay, that's the first negative. We had some missed opportunity here. Okay, segue into the positives. This album is, in my opinion, a great return to form, in the sense of it's a return to form sonically in Drake's catalog. When you're talking about the Take Care sound, when you're talking about the what was the other one with his head in the clouds? Nothing Was the Same. You get a little bit of that vibe of Champagne Poetry's got a little bit of that Tuscan Leather vibe going into there. The production on this thing, 9 times out of 10, the production slaps. Production is amazing. And kudos to every producer who got a placement on this thing, because that is one thing that does sound like it's in tip-top shape throughout the album. You get that sense of care and that sense of wanting to take you in that direction when it comes down to the production. Great job with that. Now, another disappointment in my opinion. I think that the Kid Cudi feature is borderlining disappointment for me. I think whereas it's a plus that I did not see this coming, and Drake really gets my hats off for putting Cudi on the album, because that was as unpredictable as anybody could have guessed. No one would have guessed that Cudi and Drake would have gotten together in 2021 for Drake's, return album. Nobody would have guessed that, and I give them kudos for that. I do think, I don't know what it is. I want to say maybe it's a little bit of the vocal delivery from Cudi. I don't know if it fits on I Miss You Too, the track that he's featured on. I don't know if it's the beat choice. The beat sounds good. I don't know. Maybe it's just the delivery, but it's borderline a disappointment for me. I'm not going to say it's a complete negative, because it's a curveball, and maybe it might grow. But I do want to say that the Posse cut with Wayne and Ross, that was definitely a return to form for, do you think about Take Care, you think about Lord Knows. It's got that celebratory, anthem to it, and it really gives you that bounce. I feel like that could have went, obviously, you think about the past YOLO that Drake and Wayne started way decade ago at this point, but You Only Live Twice was definitely reminiscent of that, and it was good to see everybody rapping. It was good to get into that head nodding and anthem appeal, and I credit them for that heavily, because that was definitely a place on the track list where it feels like a refresher. Yeah, this album is not trash by any means. This album is not trash. I think that it suffers in a lot of instances from some areas on the track list where you have cringe, a lot of cringe. Girls Want Girls, like I said, it is a little cringe. You have moments like Way Too Sexy. It's cringe. It's like I'm gonna try and get through this. You kind of have that suffering that you have to go through. And, you know, it does get repetitive in certain areas, but I do think the album does deserve credit for trying to be unpredictable in areas with certain features. The Yebba's Heartbreak, I want to also mention, it was really cool to hear Yebba for the first time. I think that he nailed that. He or she, I don't know if that's a male or female, but whoever, they nailed that. They nailed that, and it was dope. It was cool to hear that sonic peaceful sereneness on the track list, and I think they nailed it with that. And like I said, you have a lot of good moments where this album sounds like it wants to be cohesive on the Take Care / a little bit of the Nothing Was the Same. It's a million miles better than Scorpion. I don't know who in their right mind thinks that Scorpion was better than this, because that is not the case. I think that this album is definitely a little bit more impactful sonically. It's a little bit more life to it, no pun intended. Yeah, you have that to look forward to. So all in all, I want to give this album a 8.5 out of 10. I think that, like I said, great moments, a lot of great the production is great. It really gets you moving when it wants to. And these features definitely either made or break the album with some of the pockets that they got into. And I think that ultimately I credit Drake for wanting to be, like I said, unpredictable. Even though I can't stand the cover art, I think that that was, you know, it deserves its credit for being, you know, for Drake making the bold move of putting that on the album. Despite the Planned Parenthood community that's going to be coming after him for this album cover. But yeah, still bold. So let me know what you guys thought. I didn't want to go too deep into too deep dive into the review. I think that content wise, it could have been a little better. Drake is in a repetitive mode when it comes down to content. He's getting his shots off in this beef that he's in with Kanye, and it's cool to see that. But honestly, I wish that energy would have, you know, showed up for, you know, for Pusha, and, you know, because he's just shooting at somebody that at this point, I don't really think they're going to shoot back. Even with the leaked track that came out, you know, that didn't officially come out. It didn't officially come out. And I know Drake knows that Kanye is the least of his worries when we're talking about lyrics. And we all know that. So let me know what you guys thought. Leave a comment, leave a like. Thank you for tuning in again. Yeah, Drake, Certified Lover Boy, still slaps.